Hi everyone, this is Fretty Betty. I can be found on Ravelry as Fretty Betty, on Instagram as Fretty Betty 01, and on Facebook as Betty Kroll.
And this is Marta. You can find me as Marta Schmarta on Instagram and Ravelry.
We've read Chapter 1 in Patty Lyons Knitting Bag of Tricks and completed Lesson 1 in the accompanying workbook.
Patty Lyons recommends using non-superwash worsted weight yarn with the needle size listed on the yarn's ball band. Betty and I also recommend not using kinky, slubby, novelty, or yarn with thickness inconsistencies. We want to be able to read our knitting. If using yarn from a frogged project, yay, time to do a stash dive, right, Betty?
Uh-huh.
It's a good idea to steam or soak and dry yarn before remove the kinks.
I would like to share some helpful findings that will not spoil your experience. I use Knit Picks Wool of the Andes non-superwash yarn with US 6 needles. I went through about 15 grams of yarn. Lesson 1 took me about an hour to complete. I wasn't interrupted. What did you use, Marta?
I used about 12 grams of high desert yarn and US 7 needles. I loved the yarn, but it's a dark color called dusk. It was hard for me to see my stitches, so I think I might do a little stash dive and find some lighter, a more medium shade, not too light, not too dark, in untreated wool and try again. I'd like to point out, this is another learning experience, that sections 1 through 4 of lesson 1 begin on the right side of the work. Each of those is 8 rows long, but section 4 is only 7 rows. And so section 5 begins on the wrong side of the work. I, true to form, just zoomed ahead, worked 8 rows in the fourth section instead of the 7 rows in the instructions. And Betty, I had to think back. I
Oh
learned,
no.
oh, yes, I learned I need to read carefully instead of glancing and thinking I knew what to do.
Well, I've done that a lot too, so I'm with you. I feel your pain.
Yeah.
I was expecting lesson 1 to be uneventful, but because it was just knits and purls, but boy was I wrong.
Oh, no. Did you have an issue too, like me?
Yeah, I mean, I normally like knitting on a tight fabric, and with this exercise, I knit a looser fabric than I usually do. And boy, it really exposed the fact that my pearls are still sloppy and they need work, and we'll go into that next week.
Oh, I also learned a lot more about my process. At the end of this lesson, I was able to put names on the way I knit. I'm a combination knitter and hold my yarn in my left hand, which is known as continental style. I knit a lot, like to knit fast, and it seems to let me do both those things with less repetitive motion injuries. This lesson had me look at the stitches themselves instead of just getting to the end.
Yeah, it's just it was something very enlightening for me to do, and I'm glad I did it.
Me too. I'm definitely looking forward to lesson 2. So I'm going to get back on those needles and see you next time.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.